And we heard BIMTV. Tom just made me laugh. He called this butt track. This is Motion City soundtrack from 2010. My Dinosaur Life. Tom and I think we're on the same page in this one. This is a big miss. And I know there's a lot of people out there that really like Motion City. And I just want to say to all you fans out there of Motion City, like, I'm not going to disagree with you. There's some things that Motion City brings to the table that I really like. It's very fun, upbeat. There's some great guitar on there, but just in general, the music isn't very deep. I mentioned in the last episode or a couple episodes ago in My Chemical Romance, in our review of that I'm looking for something deeper, intellectually stimulating, something that makes me think and appreciate how stuff was written. This is not that at all. This is songs that are made to be catchy, to sing along with, to enjoy, and enjoy the mood of, and to not really think about that deeply. That's the whole point. Now, these guys are clearly talented to me. This is, what, their 4th album?
Yes.
And they love Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's cool.
So clearly, I mean, these are smart guys, and I posted I think an interview down there where it shows these guys really just are cool, all around, well-rounded dudes. It's just this is the music that they choose to write, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very Weezer-esque to describe it. If you like this, you like Jimmy Eat World, Dashboard Confessional, Weezer, Taking Back Sunday, stuff like that. But Tom, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, I really like Motion City's first 2 albums. And really, they're a band that I don't think has come out with a consistently just solid album yet. I think you can make an album out of all of their good songs that would be really good. But when you look at the albums individually, there's definitely some weaker tracks on all of them. And that's the way I felt about this one, honestly, is that the first half I liked, up through like track 5 or 6. I mean, track 6 I'm kind of on the fence about. That's why I'm kind of putting that as the border here. But up to that point, I think the songs are pretty good. And then honestly, from track 6 and on, I can't really say that there's a song that I really like. And in particularly, tracks 8, 9, and 10 are just awful, just terrible. And it just makes me so pissed because the first songs, the first half of the album, I'm like, this is believable. I feel like these guys are finally comfortable in their sound. And then after that, those songs that I pointed out, they sound so forced and so tacky. And it's like, I mean, to me, those should be like the bad B-sides of the album. But they're not. They're on the album, and it's horrifying. And
well, there's 3 things that really just piss me off about this. I actually like the vocals.
The vocalist actually really stepped it up. He has gotten even better. He's always been a pretty good vocalist, I gotta say.
I thought the vocals were quite good. It's just the lyrics were awful. I mean, throughout the album, there was a couple tracks where they weren't so bad, but more often than not, I thought they were really awful. And then the other thing I really didn't like is literally every song on this album is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Not that there's anything overly wrong with that, other than the fact that if you don't change it up, it's boring. I mean, the listener is able to predict what is coming next, and anytime that happens, you're encouraging the listener to skip the track. They're gonna skip around on the album. This is an album, and I can predict this even with Motion City fans that they're gonna skip some tracks on this album. That pisses me off. In an album, listen, at BIMTV, we grade albums, and if you're skipping tracks on an album, you're not listening to the full thing. And if you are listening to the full thing and you don't like a couple of the tracks, tough shit, it lowers the total value of the album. So guess what? I don't like this very much because I feel like there's a lot of tracks to skip on this album. That and then just this bastardizing, disgustingly unoriginal sound. It's a good sound, don't get me wrong, but it's been done so many times over the last 20 years.
And they need to bring something new to the table, and they never really have.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it's like they're a new band, and it's kind of cute, and they had some good songwriting and stuff, but anymore, 4th album, no excuses, people! No excuses to keep doing this. They need to bring something fresh to it, and they just don't.
I mean, I think this is very disappointing, unoriginal. I think that there's so many better... anybody who wants to defend this album, that's fine. Like I pointed out already, a lot of reasons to like Motion City as a band. I would challenge you to go find some other stuff out there that still retains some of these qualities, the good qualities that Motion City does have, and then find some other music that actually takes it a step further and still retains those qualities. Weezer, for instance, Blue Album, if you listen to that. But there's so many good albums out there that are able to... Jimmy Eat World's Bleed American, for instance, I think really does this. Brings a really good mood, shows a lot of diversity, good songwriting. There's a lot of stuff out there. Don't put yourself in a corner musically and only listen to this. I really would encourage people to take another step there, because if this is all you got and you love Motion City and you tote this as like you love music and Motion City is one of your bands, you're gonna look retarded, because they're not bringing a lot of stuff to the table here, and it's disappointing. And I think that honestly, there's better music out there. But there's a lot of good qualities of this still that are enjoyable. It's just not doing it for me as an album. I'm gonna give this a 54.
This is hard for me to grade, because if I were to grade the first half, I'd probably give it a mid to upper 70s. And if I were to grade the last half, I'd probably give it a low to mid 40s. So I'm just gonna cut it right down the middle and just give this album a 60.
Yeah, and I do agree with you about the last tracks really being awful. And that reduces it to a 7-track album. It's not a long album at that. I mean, that's rough. Now, Motion City has a lot of fans. There's obviously going to be some disagreement with the score we just gave this. So, I want to hear what you guys say. Please don't just write us off. Give us some real analysis so we can talk about it, because, you know, we really do respect your opinion. If you guys like this, that's awesome. And continue to like it. Like I said, I do encourage you to find other stuff that retains those qualities and gives you some more exposure to other really good qualities. But there's nothing wrong with liking this, so don't take this as a personal offense. Give us some good feedback, and I'd love to get a conversation going and talking about this album. That's what we do here at VIMTV. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music, moving music critique forward.